Former unified world champion Jarrett Hurd has made his feelings crystal clear about a potential showdown between rising star Xander Zayas and undefeated welterweight champion Jaron Ennis. And according to Hurd, the outcome wouldn't be close. During a recent interview, Hurd was asked how he sees a future fight between the two talented young fighters playing out, and his response immediately grabbed headlines. With complete confidence, Hurd backed Boots Ennis and delivered a chilling warning for Zayas: "Rest in peace." It was a bold statement, but one that reflects the enormous respect many fighters have for Ennis' talent, athleticism, and knockout power. At just 22 years old, Xander Zayas is already being viewed as one of boxing's brightest prospects. The Puerto Rican sensation has built an impressive resume with mature performances beyond his years. His combination of speed, ring IQ, sharp combinations, and composure has convinced many observers that he could eventually become one of the faces of boxing. Every fight seems to bring new improvements, and his confidence continues to grow as he climbs the ranks. Zayas has repeatedly stated that he wants the biggest names and toughest challenges available, a mindset that has earned him praise throughout the boxing world. However, Hurd believes that stepping into the ring with Boots Ennis would be a completely different level of challenge. Ennis has spent years building a reputation as one of the most avoided fighters in boxing. Blessed with explosive power, elite athleticism, lightning-fast hands, and the ability to switch stances seamlessly, Ennis is often described as a complete fighter with very few weaknesses. Opponents frequently struggle not only with his physical gifts but also with his ability to adapt during fights. Whether boxing from the outside, fighting on the inside, or countering aggressive opponents, Ennis appears comfortable in every situation. According to Hurd, that's exactly why he gives Ennis such a significant advantage. While he acknowledged Zayas' talent and potential, he questioned whether the young contender is ready for someone operating at Ennis' level. Hurd pointed out that many prospects look unbeatable until they face an elite champion capable of exposing mistakes and forcing them into uncomfortable situations. In his view, Boots possesses the kind of experience, strength, and finishing ability that can turn a competitive fight into a one-sided affair very quickly. That's where the "rest in peace" comment came from, a dramatic way of saying that Ennis would simply be too much for Zayas to handle right now. What makes the hypothetical matchup so intriguing is the contrast in styles and career stages. Zayas is still developing and gaining valuable experience with each fight. His supporters believe his technical skills, discipline, and boxing intelligence could allow him to compete with anyone in the future. Ennis, meanwhile, is already considered one of the most dangerous champions in the sport and is entering what many believe are the prime years of his career. The gap in experience against elite-level opposition is one of the biggest reasons analysts continue to favor Ennis in conversations about a potential fight. Still, boxing has a long history of young stars shocking the world when given the opportunity. Every generation produces fighters who exceed expectations and rise faster than anyone predicted. Zayas believes he belongs in that category, and his growing fan base agrees. Yet until he proves himself against top-tier opposition, questions will remain about how he would perform against a fighter as complete and explosive as Boots Ennis. That's why Hurd's comments have sparked so much debate among fans. Some agree that Ennis would dominate, while others believe Zayas' talent is being underestimated. For now, the matchup remains a fascinating what-if scenario, but it's one that could become reality in the coming years if both fighters continue winning. Should that day arrive, the boxing world would be treated to a clash between two of America's most exciting young stars. Until then, Jarrett Hurd has made his prediction loud and clear. In his eyes, Boots Ennis is simply operating on another level, and if Xander Zayas were to face him today, the former champion believes the result would be devastating. Whether fans agree or disagree, one thing is certain: a fight between Zayas and Ennis would instantly become one of the most talked-about events in boxing, with the potential to shape the future of the sport for years to come. As the conversation continued, Jarrett Hurd expanded on why he feels so strongly about Boots Ennis' chances against Xander Zayas. Hurd explained that what separates Ennis from most fighters isn't just his physical ability, it's the fact that he combines every major weapon a boxer can possess into one complete package. He has speed that rivals the quickest fighters in the sport, power that can end a fight with a single shot, and the ring intelligence to adjust whenever an opponent tries something new. Hurd noted that many fighters excel in one or two areas, but Ennis seems to have mastered nearly every aspect of the game. That's why so many fighters and trainers believe he's capable of becoming one of boxing's dominant stars for years to come. Hurd also emphasized the difference between looking great against contenders and facing a truly elite champion. According to the former world champion, boxing history is filled with young prospects who appeared unstoppable until they encountered an opponent operating at a completely different level. That's not meant as criticism of Xander Zayas, but rather a reminder of how difficult it is to make the leap from prospect to superstar. Hurd believes Zayas is talented enough to win world titles and become a major attraction, but he questions whether he has faced the type of adversity necessary to prepare him for someone like Ennis. In Hurd's view, Ennis creates problems that fighters simply can't replicate in training camp. One of the key factors Hurd mentioned is Ennis' unpredictability. Many champions develop patterns that opponents can study and prepare for. Boots, however, seems comfortable doing everything. He can fight southpaw or orthodox. He can box patiently from long range or aggressively attack on the inside. He can lead exchanges or counterpunch. This versatility makes game planning extremely difficult because opponents can't focus on stopping one specific style. Hurd suggested that even if Zayas entered the ring with a perfect strategy, Ennis has shown the ability to make adjustments faster than almost anyone in boxing. That's a dangerous trait for any opponent, especially a younger fighter still gaining experience at the highest levels. At the same time, Hurd acknowledged that Zayas deserves credit for the rapid progress he's made. Few fighters his age display the maturity and discipline he brings into the ring. His shot selection, defensive awareness, and ability to remain calm under pressure have impressed veterans throughout the sport. Hurd believes those qualities are the reason fans continue mentioning Zayas in discussions involving future champions. However, he stressed that potential and proven greatness are two different things. While Zayas may eventually reach that elite level, Hurd feels Ennis is already there. That's why he sees the matchup as favoring Boots by a significant margin if it were to happen in the near future. Another reason Hurd predicts a dominant Ennis victory is the physical aspect of the fight. Ennis is naturally bigger, stronger, and more explosive than many of his opponents. Hurd believes those advantages become even more important as the rounds progress. Early in the fight, Zayas might be able to rely on movement and boxing skills to remain competitive. But over time, the pressure, power, and pace that Ennis brings could begin to wear him down. Hurd has spent years sharing the ring with elite fighters, and he understands how exhausting it can be when an opponent forces you to think and react every second of every round. He believes Ennis excels at creating that type of pressure, gradually breaking opponents mentally and physically. The debate surrounding